I first began my weight loss journey, I started by incorporating 15 to 20 minutes of yoga into my day each day. This collection of poses can be done once daily until you're comfortable holding the poses longer or completing the flow multiple times. Begin in a comfortable seated position, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth 2 to 3 times to bring your breath and body to connect. Maybe rolling your shoulders here for just a second before beginning your transition into a tabletop pose to work through the first few rounds of cat-cow. In cat-cow, you're going to inhale, lifting your head and your chest. Exhale, rounding the spine, tucking your tailbone, pressing the mat away. And you're just going to work through this motion, following your own breath, anywhere from 5 to 10 breaths. This is a really, really great way to wake up your spine, get your insides moving. Maybe take one more round of breath here as you work through one last cat-cow, pushing the mat away from you. And then you're going to take your right leg back, massaging on the toes for just a moment. And on your next breath, you're going to lift that leg up and the left arm as well. Exhale, knee to elbow come together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring them together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Take the left hand down, right knee comes down. Maybe one round of cat-cow here. Inhale, everything lifts. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, rounding the spine. And from a neutral spine, you're going to take the left foot back. Massage on those toes once again. And on your next breath, you're going to lift the left foot and the right arm. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Knee to elbow. And lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Take the right hand down, left knee comes down. And inhale, rise into a plank pose here. Settle into your plank. Take a moment here. On your next breath, you're going to inhale, take the left toes up. Exhale down, take the right toes up, looking forward. Exhale down. And we're going to lower all the way down. Elbows back. Uncurl the toes. Inhale for a Sphinx pose. Then you're going to take your hands out to the side. Minimal weight in the fingertips. Inhale, lifting the head and the chest. Exhale, taking the head back to the mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fall. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fall. Inhale. Bring your hands back to your center. Pressing the mat away. Come into a little up dog. And then push yourself back into a plank pose. Massage on your toes just for a moment. Inhale, take the left leg up. Exhale it down, take the right toes up. Exhale. Take them down. Lower down. Move through that vinyasa, that chaturanga, up over the toes, pedaling out your feet, finding your first downward facing dog of the day. Keeping your hips back, a mindfulness in your knees and in your shoulders. pedaling out the feet. Your heels don't have to touch the mat. It's more important that you keep a little bend in your knees while you're moving through this. Make any adjustments as needed. Rest here for just a moment in this downward facing dog. From here, you're going to take the right leg up and back into a three-legged dog. On your next breath, you're going to take that leg, pull it up in between the chest, in between the hands, lifting into a crescent lunge, being mindful of where your knee is, making sure that it's in line with your ankle or behind your ankle, but not in front. I always like to take my arms out into a goddess or cactus pose at the side. And on your next inhale, we're going to transition into a warrior two, taking that back foot parallel to the mat, relaxing your shoulders, tucking the belly in. On your next inhale, flip the palm, pull the hip back, reach into that triangle pose. Whatever variation you might be in, whether your hands down by your shin or at the floor. Take a breath here and begin to pulse lightly, working on those obliques just for a moment or two. Maybe work through 5 or 10 of these on your own. From here, come back into your triangle and then begin your transition back into your warrior two. Then sweep the arms forward back into that crescent. Place the palms on the floor, pull that left foot back, and inhale back into that downward facing dog and begin pedaling out the feet. Take a moment here to bring your breath and your body back together. On your next inhale, you're going to take your left leg up and back. Inhale, bring that knee to chest. Plant the foot. Inhale, rise up into that crescent. Remembering that you have the option if you would like to have goddess or cactus arms here. And keeping an awareness of that knee. In your next breath, go ahead and begin that transition into your warrior two. Stay here just for a moment. Taking a round of breath. Being mindful of where your knee is. On your next breath, flip the palm, reaching forward. Find that triangle again on the opposite side. Take a couple of breaths here. Wherever you are, begin to pulse. Little pulses here. Great for the obliques. Great for your metabolism, getting your organs all going. Bringing in some of those feel-good endorphins. On your next breath in, go ahead and transition back. Finding that crescent once more, planting the hands, stepping the feet back, finding that downward facing dog again, pedaling out the feet. Take a round of breath here in your downward dog. Now you're going to walk your feet up to meet your hands. Take a bend in the knees, forward fold. It's very important that you keep your knees bent here, at least slightly. Protecting those knees, elongating the head and the shoulders, the neck. You can grab opposite elbows if you'd like. And as you inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, sitting into a chair pose. Tuck the belly in, tuck the tailbone. Keep your feet about hip width apart. Bring your hands to heart center, and then we're going to rotate over to the right side. Putting a nice little twist in our chair pose here. Take a couple of breaths. Inhale, bring it back to center. Sweeping the arms up overhead once more. As you exhale, find that chair pose again. Inhale, hands to heart center, and exhale, twisting over to the right side. Hold it here for just a moment. And inhale. Take your hands back to the mat. Find that forward fold again. Maybe shaking your head from side to side. For lifting into a half back. Exhale, fold. Step the feet back. Find that plank pose again. From plank, you're going to lower all the way down, swimming through. Exhale, coming up over the toes, finding that downward facing dog again. Pedaling out the feet. Taking a cleansing breath here. From here, you're going to bring your knees back down, hovering over the mat. And finally, letting them rest down. You're going to lift your knees back up so that they hover, tucking the belly in, working on the core, and we're going to alternate tapping our hands to our shoulders. You can work through about 5 to 10 on each side, depending on how you're feeling. Being mindful of your body. I'll still break in a little bit of a sweat here. Exhale, take the knees down. Sit here for just a moment, catching your breath. And from here, we're going to transition onto our bottoms into a staff pose. Taking a round of breath here, sweeping the arms up overhead. Finding that seated forward fold, being mindful that we still have a slight bend in the knee. And inhale, you're going to take it up. Find a comfortable seat, and we're going to work through some boat pose here. So you're going to lift your feet up. You can have your hands down at your sides, touching the mat. Hold it here for just a moment, and then take a slight bend in the knees. You can leave your hands down at the ground, or you can bring them out to your side. And as you exhale, you're going to lower down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. You're going to work through a few of these high to low boats. Start with 5. As you advance, you can work your way into 10, maybe even into 15. Place the hands back down. And maybe one more for good measure. This time, as you exhale, you're going to take it all the way down, nice and slow. From here, you're going to plant your feet and begin to lift your hips into a bridge pose. If you like to interlace your fingertips here, you can. You want to pull your knees together to protect them. Feet are about hip width apart. Just hold that bridge for a moment, tucking the belly in. You should really feel it in your lower glutes here. Come up onto your toes. Exhale, slowly release your back down to the mat. Take a breath here. Inhale, begin to rise back up, lifting the hips, tucking the tailbone, finding that bridge pose again. Up onto the toes. Exhale, slowly release down to the mat. Now bring your knees up. Grab the outsides of your feet. Find your happy baby pose. This is a great hip opener. While you lay here in happy baby, you're going to want to pull your knees into your armpits. Just relax into this pose. Take a couple of breaths here. Maybe roll slightly side to side on the mat, giving yourself a little back massage. I also like to take one leg and lengthen it at a time, alternating from side to side. Bring it back to center. And take your knees to a 90-degree angle, arms out to a T. Exhale them over. Take a couple of breaths here. Spinal twists are really, really good. They're very feel good. They're good for digestion and for detoxing your body. You can let your eyes be heavy here as we're nearing the end of our practice. Just stay here for 5 to 10 breaths on your own pace. Whenever you feel ready, you're going to pull those knees back to center and exhale them down to the opposite side. Trying to keep your hips in alignment with your upper body. Taking your gaze or your drishti to the opposite direction. And just relaxing here into this pose. On your next breath in, go ahead and bring it back into center, adjusting your hips as needed. Taking the feet all the way down to the mat, relaxing the hands, relaxing the feet, closing your eyes and resting into your final pose, Savasana, corpse pose. And you can stay here for just a few minutes, relaxing the muscles in your face, relaxing the muscles in your body, connecting with your breath and reflecting on what we've just done here today. Namaste.